okay. I know Scott Pilgrim. I don't know what the beer did. Gregory, thanks so much for the sort of tip there. Shoot, you didn't have to. I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. I would don't usually get that way so thank you for it. Banjo Monkey says, when did you realize you were good enough to draw professionally, knowing how self-critical we are? Was it the reaction of others that prompted you to grow? That's a great question. I don't think you ever think you're good enough for certain things. I mean, in my mind, I always wanted to be like a professional artist in some way. And probably when I was like really young, like 10, I thought I was probably good enough to draw for like Marvel comics. So maybe that's what I thought. But I certainly wasn't, that's for sure. I learned that when I got a little bit older. I think I was probably, I don't know, maybe I was more confident or delusional or whatever you want to call it when I was younger, like really young kid. I really did truly believe that I could start drawing comics professionally at a very young age. And I think that's helpful. I don't know. I think that could get in your way sometimes if you're, I don't know, I guess delusional and you don't feel like you need to get better. But the older I got, the more, I wouldn't say like insecure I got about my abilities, but I guess I got a little bit more realistic about it. And also like when you get older and you start like meeting other artists and seeing other artists work in person, you realize, oh wow, there's really good artists out there. I'm not one of them. So it kind of puts things into perspective, but that's a helpful feeling too, because it kind of makes you want to try harder. And I think it pushes you ultimately. But yeah, so when did, I don't think I ever, we are very self-critical, and I certainly am. So to this day, I don't feel like I'm good enough to be like a quote-unquote professional, even though I work professionally. But anytime I get hired to do a job, especially in comics, my thinking is two things. One, that whoever hired me is either doesn't know, like they're ignorant to other artists that are out there, and I got lucky that they didn't know that there's like other better artists out there. Or two, they called everybody else and no one else could do it, and so I got it. Either way, I'm sort of, thankful. But let's see. That's how I feel to this day. So yeah, I think I'm not sure if you ever feel like you're really, really good. Maybe some artists do. I would assume like the really good ones do. But then you sometimes hear them say things that seem to contradict that, so it's hard to tell. I'm still very, very much like striving to like get better and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely not there yet. Trout House says Salinger Fantastic Four in the late 70s. Oh yes, I've seen that. I'm gonna go back. I was never like I think just because John Buscema's work is such a I like, he's one of the best, and I know Sal Buscema is great as well. I just never like took a deep enough dive into his stuff to really know it that well. I should get more into his stuff. Banter Monkey says, you just read my mind. I was about to ask if there are any baby Buscemas out there working. That's great news. I love that there are so many Q-Birds out there now. Yeah. Yeah, Q-Bird, obviously Andy and Adam, and now there's like the other generation after them. I think Hubert's granddaughter. I follow her on Instagram. I forget what her name is, but she's doing it. There might be a couple others. I think there's an editor at DC. That's a Huber. So yeah, it's cool. Gregory, don't worry, it's not that much because my country money is really worthless, but I tried to give you something. Oh man, any little thing I really, really appreciate. That means a lot. Thank you very much. You didn't have to. Thank you. Archivist Drift says are you familiar with and have thoughts on the early Golden Age pulpy artists like Vine, Alex Schoberg, and Carl Burgos? I'm sort of like currently in the moment, kind of like learning about Golden Age stuff. That's been a few months now that I kind of like have been getting into that stuff. I was never really drawn to Golden Age art myself until recently. There's a certain kind of like charm to it, and I don't know, it's like authenticness to it. So yeah, I know of Blue Fine, and then those two other names don't ring a bell, but I'm learning through old interviews. There's some really great like blogs out there that have like and YouTube channels that have some really great like comic history. But yeah, I'll have to check out Alex and Carl Burgos. Maybe that sounds familiar. There's a guy named what's his name? Man, Lincoln. Oh, Bailey. Bernard Bailey. He's really good. He's somebody I learned about recently. Rob says, we are our own worst critics. You are spectacular, man. Seriously. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, we probably all are our own worst critics, especially as artists. It's very hard to see your own work, like objectively. And I think I get better at it, like looking at it through like a more critical lens without sort of like debilitating myself. But yeah, it's always hard to do, really, really difficult. But thanks so much. Matto says, hey Thomas, I have sketchbooks from some of my favorite artists like Paul Pope, Mark Jones. What's the best way to study or learn from sketchbooks like these? I mean, you know, looking can go a really long way. Sometimes I just like look through like certain art books and I don't know, you probably feel that like fire that you kind of get like, anyone who's like an artist who looks like a good art book or a good sketchbook with another artist, it's like filling up your tank, really. It's like all you need to just start going.
Yo, Pencil for Life. Like, Brad, what's up?
Get a fresh perspective. And that could like...
How you doing, man? Luke, how you doing? Brad, you can't sleep, so you're watching some art videos? Yeah. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, like when you can't sleep and then you can just crank on social media or YouTube, just grab your phone and there's an infinite supply of all kinds of different stuff to look at. But then you find yourself like, I need to put this thing down and attempt to actually go to sleep now. Watching George Molina videos, trying to up your game? Yeah, that's one to watch for sure. He's, You know, it's funny, I was just watching a live stream from another artist. He's actually still going, but I just shut it off just now. But he was kind of talking about on his stream, and it's like there's so many other artists out there doing the exact same thing that we do, which is creating comic art and trying to get everyone out there to look at our stuff so we could, you know, move product, get an audience to make a living off it so we could make our art our career. But then for me, it's like there's so many good artists out there. It's like it sometimes have these moments of like, what am I even doing compared to the fantastic stuff that's out there? I don't compare to any of this stuff. It's so hard. So then I sit here and wonder, well, what am I offering with my own stuff that's different and unique, hopefully in some way that would make my stuff stand out? Because I'm never going to beat anybody in a who does the best art contest, but I don't know. I think it's kind of a combination of coming up with the comic book idea that's different from stuff other people have seen, and then being consistent. Sorry, I'm going off on a whole other tangent out here about different things based on, you said, you know, looking at other artists' work, you know, inspiring to up your game. I've been having some like crisis of conscience, like skill stuff, man. It's tricky. Yeah, Brad, you're like, you feel the same way, and sometimes it's hard to get out of your head. It is, right? I'm like, I'm not as good as all these other guys. And as much as I've tried at this late stage in my life, I'm pretty certain I never will be. But maybe I offer something, you know? I'm like, ugh. So you just keep slogging along, hoping that something will catch and keep you inspired and motivated. I do know that for myself, I like doing this stuff enough that I'll never not do it. But there are those moments where it's like, oh, what am I doing? I should just give it up. Luke, you watched the Dragon review? Yeah, the Dragon series is one of my favorites. Obviously, if you listen to the way I talk about it, one of my favorite things forever. Mostly the earlier run. I know I always say that too, but it's true. Eric Larson's current work it's kind of fine, but it's just seems a lot more directionless to me. We all offer something. I mean, I like to think that. I hope so. Like I said, I have those moments where I'm like, yeah, I offer something, but is it enough that to draw anybody's attention in the way that my favorite artists do themselves? It's a slog sometimes. But we all keep trying like fools. You know what I like, Brad, is that something that you and I both do that's, in my opinion, becoming kind of a lost art is we still do art by hand. You know, so many people do digital work, and I get it. I talk about it on my channel often, but like I prefer making artwork with real pencil and paper and ink and having something physically made. And I feel like it just kind of is one of those small things that make things stand out a little bit. Oh yeah, Luke. It was years later when you realized how much Kirkman was pulling from Dragon for Invincible. You are 100% right, and Kirkman admits it. I'm pretty sure he said several times that Dragon was a big inspiration with the big over-the-top superheroes and the evolving cast of characters and being afraid to turn the page because you don't know what crazy things. Yeah, turning. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I totally get doing layouts and stuff digitally. I'm pretty sure like Ryan Otley works that way. And I mean, again, I don't have a problem with the way anybody does anything, but I just I don't even I don't even want to try and learn it just because I don't feel like stopping my current momentum to try and learn a digital device. It feels so disconnected from me. My brother has a iPad and Procreate, and he draws digitally. And I've tried screwing around with his iPad and just giving it a shot, but I feel so disconnected with the digital. I know it's just a matter of just putting in the time to learn how to do it, but I've just kind of decided I don't want to. I grew up kind of like you probably in the 90s watching my favorite artists just draw on paper and ink on paper. I'm like, you know what? That's good enough for me. That's all I want to do. I have something physical to leave my children. And yeah, doing color digitally is one thing. Luke, yeah, I get it. Yeah. I don't like it. I don't want to be staring at a digital screen all the time, especially if your profession or whatever you do during the day is that as well. But like I said, I'm not bad mouthing digital anything. I see the benefits. I see how people make it work so well. But it's just personal preference for me. And again, it comes down to I want to leave original physical artwork. That's the stuff I want to have left over. I don't want a digital file that could accidentally get erased and it's gone forever. I was watching an artist. I think it's Jason Sean Hallis, something like that on Instagram. He's done stuff with McFarlane on Spawn, and he works a lot of digital stuff. And I don't know, maybe a year ago, he posted how he had almost an entire comic drawn, and it wasn't backed up, and his digital device failed, and he lost everything. Like the entire comic was gone, and he didn't know if he had the energy to start from scratch, to just start over. And I'm like, no way. I cannot put in that much time to have an entire comic drawn, to have my digital device just eat shit, and then it's gone. Now I get he should have been backing it up in triplicate or something like that, and that's his own fault, and I'm sure he acknowledges that, but oh my gosh. Yeah, well, yeah, Brad in high school used to think that you're. Yeah, I mean, it's like, how would we know? I'm actually trying to think of what I thought at the same time, because I think you and I are basically the same age. Um, but yeah, how would we know otherwise what true comic size paper was until you read it in an interview somewhere? Like, I'm not even sure where I learned way back in the day what, original comic art size was. I think I was 18 or 19 when I finally understood the dimensions of it. But yeah, like a lot of people, I was just drawing on, like, typing paper. You got a good Booster Gold drawing going. Um, you hope you don't screw it up when you ink it. Man, ain't that the truth? Where it's like, I'm gonna ink this thing, but sometimes, like, the rough pencil drawing, the first stage looks so good, you're like, I don't want to screw this up. I don't want to ink it because I'll ruin it. Yeah, man, I have been there so many times. Yeah, Luke, Finch is drawing on huge paper. I saw that. It's crazy. I also heard that he's been drawing that series for years before they finally, talked about releasing it. But yeah, I saw a picture of him standing there holding his originals, like these massive things. It's crazy. I cannot wait for that book. It's crazy. There's a new David Finch comic coming out, and there's a new Jay Lee comic book coming out. So I'm excited for all of that.
Bustle is celebrating you with our Get Give Back event. Enjoy a wide variety of new styles at special.
But, I mean, Frank Cho draws that, but what does he draw? I mean, you talk about just his pinups or his ballpoint pen stuff? I'm pretty sure I thought I've seen his comic work, like when he was doing Avengers. I thought he was kind of at standard comic size, but now that you mention it, I guess I don't really know. Oh, really? That's interesting. I had no idea. Frank Cho's an interesting guy to me, where he's really, really talented, and I like it, especially his ballpoint drawings. And I like it. I collected his comics when he was doing Avengers. I picked up the Shauna the She-Devil for obvious, ridiculous reasons. But I don't get absolutely blown away by it as often as I thought that I would for someone who draws as well as he does. I feel like all his female figures are exactly the same. And don't get me wrong, it's masterful anatomy, posing, body language, like it's all there. But every female figure he draws, even if he's drawing a 14-year-old Kitty Pryde, she's a thick, like, beefy girl. And I'm like, it's like, I know he's got kind of his audience and he knows what his audience wants to see, but I'm just kind of like, can you even draw a scrawny girl? I like thick girls, don't get me wrong. I'm a guy, I'm a red-blooded American male, and I'm single, and I'm alive, and my heart's pumping blood through me, but, like, every female body is the same. But I guess if I think about that, all my other favorite artists do the same thing. I guess Jim Lee kind of does, but he's got a little bit more variety, sort of. I know that when Silvestri is drawing, like, your standard hot comic book girl, they all tend to look exactly the same, but I know Silvestri can do a variety of stuff because he's so good. That's because they are. He uses the same model for all his stuff, and he's stuck in it. Yeah. Adam Hughes is someone who I feel like can draw varying body types, even though I think most of us look at his work and think it all kind of looks one way, but he can vary it up, and he does. Fantasy artist Elmore and Boris, like Boris Vallejo, use the same models as well. Yeah. I guess, I mean, here's me in my stupid, like, I'm trying to suggest what some of these other amazing, highly successful professional artists should do. And it sounds stupid, but you think you could take these beautiful models and reference them, but then still physically change up the form a little bit. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I can't be mad at Frank Cho at all because my highest viewed video on my channel is the ballpoint, or no, it's just one of his books, his art books, that's got like 127,000 views. That one just took off, and it netted me like 600 subscribers just on that video alone. So I like Frank Cho for many reasons. But of course, because it had nude figures in it, it got demonetized, and man, I would really like to have collected the ad revenue for that. But nope. Thanks, Brad. Hope you have a good night, man. Thanks for stopping in as always. I'm looking forward to the next installment of your book, man. I want to know what's going on in that crazy world that character dropped into. Awesome. Damn. Do I like Halloween? I mean, I think I like it as much as the next person. Some people get like insane crazy over it. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna litter my yard and everywhere inside my house with, you know, kitschy Halloween themed shit. And, you know, that's all fine, but. So, I mean, yeah. You like the Halloween movies of the around the time of year? Yep, I get that too. I'm not really a horror movie guy. It's never been my thing. Like, they're fine. I can watch certain ones, but I don't get too crazy into it. Unless I'm like dating some chick and she's hardcore into scary movies. I'm like, you betcha, baby. What you want to watch? What's your favorite scary movie? What's up, guys? Montoya. Do I think that the Spawn movie will ever release? You know, I'm a fan of McFarlane. A lot of people don't like him because he's got a big mouth and an attitude, but that's kind of why I like him. I honestly think he's doing everything in his power to get it going. It's just the problem is that he can't fund it on his own. He was really leaning into what was it? There was an R-rated movie that come out, like an R-rated comic book movie, and he was really leaning into that. He's like, "Hey, bud, there was an R-rated comic book movie that was successful." And he's like, this would be the time to put out a Spawn. He's just trying to look for funding. And I believe he wants to make it 100%. And he wants to direct it and make it awesome. And I don't know that he can direct, and I don't think that's a good idea. But I believe he wants to. It's just he can't, you know.